Robin Sharma's The Monk Who Sold His Ferrari. I mean, it's one of those books that's been a total game changer for millions of people looking for something more out of life. So today, we're going to break it down, unlock its core secrets, and it all starts with one simple but really powerful question. No, seriously, just take a second and think about that. If you got a do-over, a real second chance at life, what would you change? What would you do differently? This isn't just some random thought experiment. It's the very heart of the journey we're about to dive into. And this whole story, it kicks off with a guy named Julian Mantle. Now, this was a man who was an absolute superstar in the legal world. He had everything you could possibly want. But as we're about to find out, he'd lost the one thing that actually mattered. You know, every great story of transformation seems to start with a crisis, right? Well, for Julian Mantle, that crisis was a life that was just completely spinning out of control. It was a wake-up call, and man, did it come in the most dramatic way possible. Okay, so on the outside, Julian was a living legend. We're talking a brilliant trial lawyer, making 7 figures, flying around in a private jet, living in a mansion. And of course, there was his pride and joy, that shiny red Ferrari. But underneath all that glitter, the reality was pretty grim. He was only 53, but he looked like he was pushing 80. He was overweight, sick, and just spiritually empty. His entire life was just this relentless chase for more. And then one day, right in the middle of a packed courtroom, his body just said no more. A massive heart attack brought the great Julian Mantle crashing right back down to earth. In this quote from him, it just perfectly nails where he was at. I constantly complained that I was sick and tired of being sick and tired. He was just trapped, stuck in this loop of stress and burnout. His life had no real purpose anymore, and he was filled with this deep inner emptiness. That heart attack, it wasn't just a medical thing. It was his soul screaming for help. When you have a brush with death like that, everything changes. Your whole perspective just shifts. And for Julian, it wasn't just about getting better, it was about a complete and total reinvention. He set off on this epic quest for answers, a journey that would take him from the chaos he knew in the courtroom all the way to the peaceful peaks of the Himalayas. And Julian's next move was radical. I mean, he didn't just retire, he basically vanished. He quit the law, sold the mansion, sold the jet, and yep, he even sold the Ferrari. He packed up and headed to India, searching for answers to life's biggest questions. His journey eventually led him way, way deep into the Himalayas, looking for this legendary group of monks, the great sages of Savannah, who were rumored to hold the secrets to an enlightened life. So, after this incredibly tough journey, Julian actually finds them. He finds the sages. And you'd think they'd hand him some ancient, complicated text, right? Nope. Instead, their leader, a guy named Yogi Raman, tells him a story. A simple but really, really strange story. Okay, get this. Picture it. You're standing in this beautiful, lush garden. Right in the middle, there's a huge lighthouse. All of a sudden, this 9-foot-tall, 900-pound sumo wrestler walks out of the lighthouse, and he's only wearing a pink wire cable. It's weird, right? It gets weirder. He slips on the golden stopwatch, falls down, but then the smell of yellow roses wakes him up. He gets to his feet and starts following a path made of sparkling diamonds that leads to, apparently, eternal joy. I know, it sounds like a crazy kid's story, but Yogi Raman swore that this fable held the 7 timeless virtues for a truly enlightened life. So, what on earth does that bizarre story actually mean? This is where we get to the good stuff. Each one of those strange parts of the fable is actually a symbol, a key to unlocking a super powerful principle for living a better life. So let's crack this code. The garden? That's your mind. You have to cultivate it, take care of it. The lighthouse? That's your purpose in life, your guiding light. The sumo wrestler? He symbolizes the power of constant improvement, always getting better. That weird pink wire cable stands for discipline. The stopwatch is all about respecting your time, and the roses are about serving others. And finally, that path of diamonds, it teaches you to live in the now. See, it's a whole system for a fulfilling life just hidden inside this simple little story. Let's zoom in on one of these for a second. The sumo wrestler. He represents this amazing Japanese idea called Kaizen, which basically means constant, never-ending improvement. The wisdom here is so powerful. The only limits in your life are the ones you believe in. By just pushing your own boundaries a little bit every single day, you start to unlock mental and physical strength you never even knew you had. And you know what's great? The wisdom from these sages is incredibly practical. It's not just philosophical fluff. Take their 5-step method for hitting your goals. It's a fantastic tool. First, get a crystal clear picture of what you want. Second, create some positive pressure. Tell people about your goal. Third, give it a deadline. Fourth, and we'll get to this, follow the magic rule of 21. And fifth, and this is so important, actually enjoy the process of becoming a better version of yourself. So, what's this magic rule of 21 all about? The idea is super simple but profound. If you do something new for 21 days in a row, without a break, you actually create a new pathway in your brain. That consistent daily action is what turns something that feels hard into a habit that feels totally effortless. It's not about making huge, massive leaps. It's all about those small, consistent steps. Remember the lighthouse from the fable? That represents what's called dharma. It's a Sanskrit word that basically means your life's purpose. Lasting happiness, the real deep kind, doesn't come from just doing random things. It comes from steadily working towards a clear goal, a mission that also helps other people. Finding your purpose, that's what sets your soul on fire. Now, to actually live these virtues, the book gives us 10 daily rituals. Think of them like a holistic toolkit to take care of your mind, body, and soul. For example, there's the ritual of solitude, which is all about carving out quiet time in our crazy, noisy world. The ritual of abundant knowledge encourages you to never stop learning, to always be reading. And the ritual of simplicity helps you cut through all the clutter and focus only on what truly matters. It's all about building a daily routine that supports an amazing, radiant life. And that final symbol, the path of diamonds, might just hold the most important lesson of all. So often, we're chasing this idea of a perfect life that's somewhere over the horizon, right? But we completely forget to appreciate the beauty that's right here, right now. Real joy is found by savoring the present moment. Happiness isn't some destination you finally arrive at. It's the journey you're on, right this second. And this final quote, it just brings everything home. What lies behind you and what lies in front of you matter little compared to what lies within you. Your past doesn't have to define you, and your future is still up for grabs. The real power, the true source of an incredible life, is already inside you, just waiting for you to unlock it. Julian Mantle had to sell his Ferrari to discover that. So the only question left is, what will you do to discover yours?